Welcome to another Sacred Monday Ministry. My name is Emma Malone, and I am an acupuncturist and herbalist at Healing House, Westminster, Maryland. Now that I've done a few of these videos, I'm sort of honing in on what I'd like to say, so I think it's time to do more of an official introduction to myself and what I envision for these videos on this channel. Like I said, I'm an acupuncturist, and I'd really like to share my truth, speak about some of the things that are important to my heart and my soul, and bridge some of these big conversations that I wish I were having more of in the treatment room with the material that I use in the treatment room, just bridging these higher concepts with what am I actually using in the treatment room. So in past videos, I've discussed the 5 elements from the classical Chinese perspective, but I've also discussed God and shared some prayers and some quotes from classical texts. And now, to me, every time I say God, I feel like God is almost a dirty word. Not everyone vibes with that word, that concept. Not that I'm here to impress everyone or to speak to everyone, but when I say God, I mean this universal connecting principle that surrounds us all, connects us all, lives within us all. So I've gone to Taoist texts to describe that as well, because they use more of a terminology of the way, the Tao, the non-being fabric behind everything that we see. On that note, behind everything we see, I'm just going to jump right in. On this channel, I connect with astrology, I connect with full moon, new moon cycles, crystals. I'm a recovering crystal shopaholic, a recovering weed smoker. More about me. A recovering foodaholic, a recovering meat eater. And in making space in my life for less of the distractions, for less of the things that keep me from being present, what I have found I am called to do is to, hopefully, God willing, inspire others and share what is on my heart, what is most important to me, that I would take 20 minutes at a time to discuss. Maybe don't have time for in the treatment room. Being an acupuncturist right now, it's my job. I love it. It's like a safe haven for me here at the office. And sometimes we all feel called to do something more in alignment with our soul's purpose. And for me, that is right now speaking my truth and hopefully communicating my beliefs in a deeper way, in a way that can touch home and inspire others. So yeah, I said diving right in. This week, what's been on my mind to talk about is another dirty word, which is meditation. I hear a lot of people say, I don't have time for meditation. What else? I don't have time for meditation. It doesn't work for me. And I've read, don't talk about your meditations. It's like, don't talk about religion. It's personal. But in the sacred texts, they do talk about meditation. They talk about prayer. And I think it's so important to talk about in a safe space. So I'm going to carve that out for us here and now. I don't know if you've noticed or if you've heard, but this world, this society we live in, the material life that we see and crave and desire and surround ourselves with, our experiences, even our loved ones, being here on earth is an illusion. They say it's a hologram. I mean, some people go as far as to say we live in a matrix. So without going down that rabbit hole, it is an illusion. I mean, our five senses perceive what is around us, and we perceive this material world, and we give it more credence, we give it more validity than it actually has, just believing our senses, believing our thoughts and our feelings. I mean, in quantum physics, they've proven that everything around us is energy. Matter is just energy vibrating at different densities, so nothing is real. To me, when I look back in all seriousness and honesty, the only thing that, or what stands out as being the most real thing in my past, in my experiences, is when I meditate. And that seems crazy, but when you slow down and you close your eyes and you just observe your thoughts and your experiences, and observe what is happening in your mind in the present moment, and you step back from that and you find that seat of awareness, when you get to that place and when you open your heart to the real reality without all of the mind chatter, without focusing on the TV, the phone, the physical objects before us, even the crystals. Anyway, I have found that those meditative moments where you actually reach something bigger, something, words just don't always do it justice. That's reality. To me, that is opening to a sense of God, a sense of oneness, a sense of presence to the reality in your soul. And that is the realest thing we can touch. To me, that is just so important and so valuable. There are so many studies that show that group meditations focusing on loving kindness and compassion can actually span time and space and can reduce crime. You actually change your brain when you challenge yourself to focus on that seed of awareness behind your thoughts. You change your brain, you become more open to compassion and love more open to God, more able to translate that into day-to-day life where we have to make decisions, to be able to realize you're in a destructive emotion or thought pattern and bring yourself back to oneness. So I just think that is hugely valuable, and that's what's been on my mind this week. Let's see. And there are two other things I want to discuss in this video. First, because, like I said, I'm bridging my idea of God and what is the most real and true to what I do in the treatment room and how to help clients in a bigger way. I'm going to relate meditation for a minute to the 5 elements. So we'll start with the wood element, because we're currently now in the springtime, which is the element of the wood energetic. So when you meditate, you quiet the chatter and you escape the constraints of day-to-day life. You let go of the hounding thoughts and emotions, and you go to a place of transcendence. And by that I mean, when I said meditation is like the most real thing, I picture it like a sewing needle. Like, here's the fabric of our day-to-day experience. Every time I meditate, it's like tapping in to what is real. And I come back up to the day-to-day experience, and then I meditate again, I tap in again. So I think of this like needle threading through my life, and the more I meditate, it doesn't even matter how much you meditate, just the fact that you did it once and you found that space, you touched something real. So to me, meditation is a place where time and dimensions sort of fade away. So that brings us to the wood element, which is a space of intuition, a space of creativity, a space where God drives you into that creative force. Then the fire element, we've talked about the heart, what the Chinese call the shen, that shines from your heart, through your spirit, through your body, out your eyes. They have a big shen and a little shen. So the big shen is the universe, the God, the creative principle. And then the little shen is the little shen that lives within all of us. So when you meditate, you open your heart to connect your shen with the big shen. Earth element. Earth is like self-care, giving and receiving from yourself to others. When you slow down to meditate, you receive more than almost any other practice. I do believe that. You connect to God, you connect to the healing ability within. And when you put yourself first and carve out the time, make the time for your self-care, you have more resources to give to others. Metal is all about connecting to the sacred. So when you quiet your mind, let go of the worries, let go of the fears, just let go of the to-do lists, the constant thoughts. You can find the opposite, the connection to the sacred, the thing that is always there, like your breath. A lot of meditation, you're just focusing on your breath and That is the vehicle to that divine space. And then water. Water is also a perfect place to talk about meditation because it is a place of stillness, a place of power, a place of overcoming your fears. So in God, all things are possible. Even death isn't something to be afraid of. Pain, suffering. Life is an illusion. There is no good or bad to any experience. It just all is. Every experience is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for healing, an opportunity to get to your soul, to learn new lessons, to not have to come back and reincarnate and do all these lessons all over again, to become the master of yourself, to know thyself. That is perhaps your one big mission in life. And I have a passage from the Isha Upanishad. I'm just gonna, I think, go through the whole thing because these classics say it better than I ever could. They say it best. So I really want to share this with you this week. Oh, another bell. Real quick. The Lord is enshrined in the hearts of all. The Lord is the supreme reality. Rejoice in him through renunciation. Covet nothing. All belongs to the Lord. Thus working, may you live 100 years. Thus alone will you work. Those who deny the self are born again. Pause. So in this is an ancient Hindu passage, and they're going to use the term self like I was using the term Shen before. So there's the self, the real self that you find during meditation, and there's the self that is God. Those who deny the self are born again, blind to the self, enveloped in darkness, utterly devoid of love for the Lord. The self is one. Ever still, the self is swifter than thought, swifter than the senses. Though motionless, he outruns all pursuit. Without the self, never could life exist. So, another pause. We're talking about God, and we're talking about our oneness with God, and how there are great contradictions in the absolute of God, and how physical life plays out. But the truth is oneness with the self. Sorry, let's get back to it. The self seems to move, but is ever still. He seems far away, but is ever near. He is within all, and he transcends all. Those who see all creatures in themselves, and themselves in all creatures, know no fear. Those who see all creatures in themselves, and themselves in all creatures, know no grief. Because there's a bigger story than death and loss. There's a bigger reality. Okay, back to it. How can the multiplicity of life delude the one who sees its unity? Let me repeat that. How can the multiplicity of life delude the one who sees its unity? How can we get caught up in the 10,000 things around us when we know in our hearts the oneness with God. The self is everywhere. Bright is the self, indivisible, untouched by sin, wise, immanent and transcendent. He it is who holds the cosmos together. In dark night live those for whom the world without alone is real. In night darker still, for whom the world within alone is real. The first leads to a life of action, the second to a life of meditation. But those who combine action with meditation cross the sea of death through action and enter into immortality. Through the practice of meditation, so have we heard from the wise. In dark night live those for whom the Lord is transcendent only. In darker still, for whom he is eminent only. But for those whom he is transcendent and immanent, cross the sea of death with the immanent and enter into the immortality with the transcendent. So have we heard from the wise. So if you know yourself to be God, to quite literally be the divine, you can transcend. The face of truth is hidden by your orb of gold, O sun. May you remove your orb so that I who adore the true may see the glory of truth. O nourishing sun, solitary traveler, controller, source of life for all creatures, spread your light and subdue your dazzling splendor so that I may see your blessed self. O God of fire, lead us by the good path to eternal joy. You know all our deeds. Deliver us from evil, he who bow and pray again and again. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So that is a translation by Eknath Easwaran. Love him. And that's really what I wanted to share with you today. I think that about covers it. We went a little over today. Thank you so much for listening, and please let me know if there's something you would like me to discuss in another upcoming video. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Namaste.